Good.
What's going on? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Once again, we are live. It's Sunday night. Means another edition of the Man Cave. This is your man Polk County. Before we get started, I want to say what's up to the PG, number one PG All State, number one coach All State. What's going on with you fellas?
What's up? What's up?
Been a long week. Long week. Short weekend. That's usually how it go. Good evening. So, anywho, PG just going to bypass you. You got something on you? You got something?
I did. I forgot.
Nothing?
He said he forgot.
You say you forgot. Oh, man. Coach, you got anything?
Sure. What I was thinking about is that we're in that 2-week period where can't do anything with balls. So, Coach, what do coaches do to continue to get prepared for the season that's coming up, for trials and everything of that nature? Because my thing is, if you don't do anything for these next 2 weeks, you can lose a lot of ground just letting them do whatever. So what's the mindset of coaches, and what should they be doing the next 2 weeks?
What is the rationale behind nothing with the ball for the next 2 weeks? What's that? Help me out with that one.
That's a great question. I do not know, but that's been a rule forever. So
do people follow that rule? I mean, I know. I'm going to take my first one back. That's the first time I ever heard that rule, and I'm pretty sure that I don't know how well enforced that one is. But to answer your question, I guess if we're assuming that everybody is actually following the rule to the way that it's written, which I didn't know that till right now, I guess it would be just straight, essentially conditioning and weightlifting. I don't know much more than we can do besides that. I mean
so let's talk about the rule itself. So you think that's something they should visit and change?
I see nothing that makes sense about that rule. That's the first time I've heard that, but that rule makes no sense to me at all. I mean, how do you do basketball without the ball? I mean, conditioning. I mean, I guess you just conditioning, but it's like these high school kids. At some point, you got to put a ball in their hand. You're gonna lose interest. I don't know. I don't agree with that rule. I didn't know that was even a rule, and I'm very sure it's not being enforced. But
it's been in place like forever, especially since you and I've been coaching. It's been in place. Now,
who follows that rule?
That comes from Gainesville, I think.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who follows that rule?
I mean, that's another story. My thing is, it's not enforced until somebody turns you in. So my thing is that this is the digital age where everybody films everything and want to post it. Will it be a wise thing that you posting workouts or training when you don't even supposed to have a ball in your hands?
Brother Hagan said conditioning. I like that. How much can be just for 2 weeks? You can do your trial and test period, like test times.
Defense and conditioning, but how much defense can you do without the ball though? I mean, I get conditioning, okay. And so is it a matter of if the coach is in? I guess that would be my next question. If the coach is in there, is it no ball? And then if the coach is not in there, you do what you kind of want to do. Is that the thought process of it?
That's
open gym. Let's hoop it up.
But my thing is, the coach can't be in there. You know, with a ball, you have to get somebody to supervise them still.
Yeah, get the PE coach.
I mean, I guess the only thing you can do if you ain't got a ball is conditioning. I wonder about 2 weeks before the season. I understand maybe a month before, you say a 2 week period, or maybe like the first 2 weeks of school coming in, you saying that. But 2 weeks before the season, I'm like, you're supposed to be getting yourself in line for the season. And you're gonna take the ball out of my hands, and we getting ready to have the ball and be, full, all in, full go. I don't agree with that. I would be interested to hear the logic of that rule. What's the thought process? What's the purpose of that one?
I agree. And my thing is, you can lose a lot of momentum in these next 2 weeks.
A whole lot. That's what I'm like. You taking it to step back. If we've been working on shooting, we've been working on coming off the ball screen. We've been working on sets, and now we got to do it. You can say, okay, you can work through stuff wherever, but it ain't nothing like having the ball.
Individual workouts.
From my understanding, no. I think like the ways around it. For one, first thing I did, I had a basketball class, so I was able to get majority of my kids in a basketball class during the day. And the next thing I did, I hired somebody to come in and to work the kids out, where none of the coaches were in there. So it's like the kids, hiring a trainer or whatever. So it was nobody that was affiliated with the school.
That person, volunteer hiring.
It was somebody that I knew. Basically, I just covered for them to come in, like travel expenses and stuff.
They say, boy, you better get you some. I'm being funny, but you better get you some. Let me stop. I ain't I said, boy, you coaches out there better get y'all some honey bun. Some honey bun. You put somebody in there if you got to pay them.
Oh man, too soon.
Hey, I'll take that check. Somebody call me to work their kids out. I'll take a little check.
But you know what? That happens a lot in college, though. You only get so many hours with coaches and players that they have trainers to come in and work their kids out because they only get so many hours with them. That happened a lot in college.
Check, though. I don't want no honey bun.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how you that rule makes entirely no sense to me, man. I never knew. I can say now that I ain't coaching no more that I never abide by that rule. I wasn't violating. I guess I was violating it, but I wasn't violating because I didn't know it was a rule. I didn't know that was even in place. So I know I wasn't putting no balls up 2 weeks before we started playing. So I definitely was a frequent offender of that
one. You were definitely cheating, bro.
Yeah, I can own it now, but is it cheating if you did it but you didn't know you weren't supposed to be doing it?
You be a better check, man.
But if you notice,
if you didn't know that it was wrong, that you weren't supposed to be doing it, you did it. Is it really cheap?
Bro, you ain't know.
GOD. I never knew that rule till coach just said that. I never knew it was a 2 week rule, no ball right for practice.
I'll say, man, ignorance is no excuse.
I never knew that.
If y'all notice, when you get like teams like Scott, when they had to come over and play under another name, that is like one of the ways they try to get around stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you have no school affiliation.
So if I'm in the gym as the I want to say a school that the Gainesville Green as opposed to the Gainesville not Gainesville Hurricanes, then I'm good.
You should be, but I'm pretty sure you probably have to have like some liability insurance and that you rented the facility and whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of red tape that you'll have to cut.
I don't get that one. And like I said, I didn't know I was doing it. I didn't know it was a rule, but I know I violated it. Now that you're saying it, I violated that every year. We wasn't in there without no balls 2 weeks before the season started. So
hey, if you're trying to get paid right now, you can bribe and just take a peek around a couple of these schools in the next 2 weeks.
So I guess the trick would be now to make sure folks don't know when you're in the gym, I guess, huh?
Fake film, man. Like you just got your phone in your hand, but you filming.
You know, people act different now about me. I ain't Coach Barnes. I'm on Polk County, so I don't get the same access and conversation I used to get. They wonder, am I talking to Coach Barnes? Am I talking to Polk County? Come on, man. So anywho, so folks probably ain't gonna be really inviting me like that beforehand anyway. But I get it. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, it is. I mean, he Black. He's shooting for the he's shooting from the hip today. He going. And I guess that's the way. Around. You sign your team up, and so now you're in the gym. You ain't in the gym as Davenport Broncos. You're in there as Davenport Horses. I guess I don't know. And so now, you good, or you're in there as the East Polk Horses. So it's not Davenport or the Broncos. So you're good. I guess that's how you get around it. But why? I mean, why? It's 2 weeks before the season start. Travel ball over with. We know you're getting ready for the season. Why we gotta do all that? And we about to start playing. We legitimately it's not like you're doing it in August when school first started. You 2 weeks out before the first full practice start. What's the point? I mean, I just don't get that. Mustang, that worked too. We got Colts, Mustangs, Clydesdales, anything. I get it.
I really don't understand why. And I think a lot of this stuff, man, we gotta start taking a look at. You know what I'm saying? It's like it don't make sense. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Why didn't tell me like I'm 2 years old? In the words of Trick Taylor. Why didn't tell me like I'm 2 years old? Anyway, yeah. So I guess conditioning was the overarching thing. I think Coach London said defense also. But if you ain't signed up under U Trip and got your insurance waiver, I guess you kind of gotta get some conditioning in, get some more reps in the weight room, and work on shell drill without a ball. I don't know about that one. So before we keep going, man, we want to give a shout out to since last week, Tyler Williams, 2023 guard for Lakeland, picked up another football offer from Iowa State. So I want to say congrats to him. I ain't see nobody else pick up nothing or nobody else commit this week. So that's the commitment/offer list for the week. So
yeah, I saw Tyler on Saturday. First of all, prayers out to Coach Johnny Lawson. He lost his mom.
Man.
Had the funeral on Saturday, and I was able to see Tyler. And Tyler was mad at me this summer. He said me and his mom made him play football. I asked him, was he still mad at me? He said he's not mad at me no more. So he actually enjoying playing. So all the attention that he getting.
Yeah, you start getting them phone calls and text messages, and that thing started. I think he's the only athlete with offers in football and basketball, right?
Yeah, right now. Bro, I'm proud of him, bro. It's gonna be a difficult choice for him next year. They're gonna make it difficult for him. Yeah. I know what he wants to do, but if he continue to get them offers like that in football, it's gonna make it tough for him.
What you want to do and what's the best business move might not be the same thing, but that business, that real business, he got some good problems on that football field, and Lakeland has finally made me lose another bet because this is the year that Kelsey decided he wants to throw the daggone football. He ain't threw the ball in 49 years, and this is the year he decided he want to throw the daggone football. When I see him, I'm gonna have a conversation with him. He ain't gonna remember nothing I'm saying, but I'm gonna have a conversation with him. I felt good about the bet I made that he wasn't gonna throw the ball because he never throws the ball, but now they daggone Clemson. Now he I don't know.
When you 6'5" out there, you got a good problem out there, no?
A 6'5" receiver.
Yeah.
A 6'5", 2 combo guard? That's two different conversations. So, I mean, like you said, it ain't gonna stop. I mean, this dude getting Power 5 offers. He ain't getting like no AAC, FCS off. He getting Power 5 off of people that's on TV every week. That's in the top 25. So, I mean, he's gonna have some issue. But yeah, football definitely is football makes better business sense. But I know I feel like it's hard as in basketball. So he gonna have a choice. Do you go? And that's a good question. Do you go with your heart or do you go with the business decision? Both of y'all, if y'all getting the same type of looks as football and basketball, or well, kind of in his, if you're in his boat, and coach, you play both. Do you go with your heart or do you do the business thing? If it's you,
Bro, I love basketball ever since I've been able to walk. But I knew in high school what the business decision was, that I was going to make my money in football. I was going to pay for college playing football. You know what I'm saying? If I have an opportunity to go pro, no matter what sport that is, I understand what my heart is. But, I'll be trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? That's a sacrifice I'm just have to make.
gotcha. What about you, bro?
Oh man, that's an easy one. I got a chance to go to league. What was the question again? So I can answer it right.
You going with your heart or you going with the business decision?
That dude be all over the place, man. He be everywhere, man.
Business is that money, right?
Yes, sir.
All right then.
Oh man.
I got the point, folks. I got the point.
All right, man. Coach Kona Chalk Talk, I guess. Scout reports. Two parts. How important are scout reports? And when you were playing, did you study your opponent, or did you just go out there and you felt like what you knew and what you had didn't necessarily matter what your opponent had?
It's as important. It is as important as discipline as your team is. If your kids are disciplined enough to follow your instructions on it, it can be the most important situation it is. But getting kids to buy into that nowadays and not fall into their own personal way of playing on the scouting report can be a make or break. Like I can see Billy D, Terrence, and a few of those guys giving a great scouting report on how to play. I've seen some coaches that'll tell us we know this about this kid. We know he can't go left. We're gonna force him left, and then you watch 32 minutes of the game, and ain't nobody do exactly what the coach was telling us they were supposed to do. And I all came into locker rooms after the game over, like, why y'all let that guy do that? No, coach, we had the scout report was to do this. Kids won't listen. So it's a discipline of how well the kids listen.
I think it falls in preparation. You prepare yourself by in practice, getting reps and everything of that nature. It's just as important to know who your opponent is. You just can't go out there blind, just doing whatever. You got to prepare for them. So in high school, when Keith Jones was coaching us, we got a written report, especially when we got like in the playoffs about our opponents, which was beneficial to us. And once you get to college, man, it's very detailed about preparation and scouting reports. Me myself, when I became a coach, it's important for the coach to be prepared, but you also got to know your team and know what you can give your team and what you can't. With my 2012 team, even though I know I had film on our opponents, I never showed them the film. I used to get in practice and just let them know, like, hey, this team's pretty good. This kid can do this. This kid can do that. Even though I know I watched the film and they wasn't very good, because I just knew, my kids would just take it lightly. And that's just what I didn't want them to do. I still gave them a written report, but I didn't show them film, on purpose. So as a coach, you need to know your team and what you can and cannot do with them. But you have to be prepared. And sometimes you do it in different ways. You just prepare them in practice about, what you're going to do. You don't necessarily every time have to tell them specifically, like, hey, this player can't do this, can't do that. You can just instruct them in practice on what you want.
All right. That's the grown up answer for both of y'all. When y'all were playing, did you how how much did you all put into the scout report? Did you all study your opponent? Honestly, high school and college.
As a player that I played college, you had to study the opponent. That was because you spending you spending. Yeah, leave boy, Coach Gibby's have us in the film room for 3 hours watching 4 clips. So yeah,
No,
you
that was
got
torture for you. I know that was torture for you because
what?
you used to be.
Not the word.
Yeah, he got ADD. I thought I was bad. That boy
Torture
was
is not the word, dog. But it was beneficial. I mean, because you knew. I mean, you go into 5 days of practicing for that big Saturday game, conference game, or you go from Sunday to Wednesday. You know exactly what players couldn't do what, and it was very helpful. You know what I'm saying, especially for us.
Gotcha.
I think for me, I wasn't as athletically gifted as the people I played with and played against. My thing was it was a chess game for me. So any advantage I can gain mentally, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not as quick, fast, or jump higher than you, but if I know your tendencies, you know what I'm saying, I can be where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying, in order to gain an advantage. So it was all about chess for me. You know what I'm saying? It's a chess match. When I was playing, it was a chess match now when I'm coaching.
I tell CJ that now. I use Ed Reed all the time because he plays safety. Ed Reed plays safety. Ed Reed never was the biggest, never was the fastest, strongest, but he was always in the right place at the right time because he's so smart. He watched so much film. He knew everything, every possibility, every scenario. He was just so far ahead of it because of his film study. And so I kind of try to put that on him, and he do a pretty good job with it, which is why he's been successful. But all kids don't receive it that way. But it's just I know that Ed Reed, he's always, I always admired his story of how he was a 2-star recruit. It's still like how he even ended up at Miami. In today's landscape, Ed Reed wouldn't be at Miami because a
No.
2-star recruit, Miami wouldn't even look at him. But it's like they end up getting him, and he ended up being one of the best safeties ever come through Miami and Hall of Fame and everything else. And it's like he never would check off the boxes as it relates to, but he was so great with studying his opponent that he was above average when he was average as it relates to measurables. So to your point, Coach, he did a great job, and so I always use him as an example. So I saw an article where a coach was talking about how much time he puts into scouting reports, which is not a lot, because the coach was essentially saying that he didn't put a lot of emphasis on it because of what Bruss said, that the kids don't, well, the players, I guess, is because it's a college coach, which it was surprising to me because it was a college coach that said it. They don't receive it the same. They don't intake it. They don't digest it. They don't translate it. So he did a lot more on the court type teaching as opposed to scout report, because like Bruss said, you got me in a room for 3 hours, show me 4 clips, and you lost me. So he didn't put a lot as much in the scout report. So I just thought it was interesting. I figured I would ask both of y'all that, because I thought that was an interesting take that he had, because normally I think every coach like scout reports.
But I think that's intelligent on his part. He know his kids. He know what type of team that he has. So it just seemed to me that his scouting report was practice itself. You know what I'm saying? He just did it that way because he just knew they wasn't going to put the time in film or like a written report. So I'm pretty sure that he just engraved it in practice, which I totally understand.
You know what made Coach Gibbons such a great coach? Because those 4 clips is what we probably watched, but he probably had. I mean, the way we prepared for them on the floor for each team was totally different from watching those 4 clips.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fair point. Like what would be best for the team and the sets they run. I mean, I'm sure he put countless hours into that, and that's why he was such a great coach. We were so prepared against teams um, that it just changed the way we defended those teams, because we led the nation 4 years in defensive field goal percentage, because of how he studied film and how he prepared us on the floor. It's just those good players. So I think, and I'll ask him this, but I think now looking back at it, the film we watch might be on a set. So say if a team's running flex, we would have those 4 to 6 clips. We would master how to defend flex, how to jump to the ball, and how to open up. And I mean, we were one of the best teams at defending flex. That was an easy offense where it could be a difficult offense. So when we go on the floor to practice it, we know every spot to be at. Then you got the players. So you want to look at the best players on the team and try to take away what their strengths are and know what their weaknesses are. So those 4 to 6 clips, whether I was like, geez, we watching this over and over again, it taught us how to defend not only a great player, but then take the best out of the system.
And that was going to be my next point to both of y'all. In a scout report, what's more important, putting in or taking away what the team is doing or taking away what the best player is doing?
The team. I say the team because at any given moment, player 2 and 3 could have a great night. One could struggle. Player 1 can always struggle, not shoot the ball as well. And then you have other guys that can make up for that playing if they're at home. You know, a lot of teams that play home, sometimes you get energy from somewhere else. You average 9 points a game. Next thing you know, you look up. We watch college basketball night in, night out. The guy that was averaging 9 points on the road end up with 25 at home. So he's got that much energy. So you take away the team. I think the team part of it is more important than just the individual player. You focus on that individual player and you're thinking that, and then other guys start hurting you. And we watch it all the time in NBA, the same thing. So team to me.
I'm with you. Totally understand. I think it got to be a combination of both. As a coach, when I was coaching, my thing is I want to make you uncomfortable with what you do well. All right, so that was my main strategy that I try to use, especially like on the defensive end. I try to push you out as far close to the division line as I could for you to run your offense. I think individual players are important also. I want to take away your best option and just make everybody else beat me. It's sometimes where, defensively where we denied their best player. He wasn't able to, catch, what I'm saying? Then when he did catch, we wanted to make sure if he was a shooter, we drove him out the 3-point line. So I think it changes from game to game. I'm with Toomer. You got to take away what that team does well, and then you can focus on the individual itself.
Okay. All right. Before we transition to the next one, I want to go back to the Tyler Williams. I see where Monty said something about Mike Trigg with the football, basketball setup. And then Black said something about Charlie Ward, Primetime, and Winston having 2 sports. I think the distinction is with them guys, they got offered to play both sports at them schools. To my knowledge, Tyler hasn't been offered to play basketball at the schools he's been offered to play football at, and vice versa. So he got an Iowa State football offer, and he got an Iowa State basketball offer. So I guess he'd have to walk on. He got, so those football offers haven't been basketball as well. So I don't know if that's a distinction, but I saw that and I just wanted to go back and kind of clarify that all them guys got offered for both sports. Not saying he won't in the future, but as of right now, he hasn't. So I saw this week, Thursday, man, and y'all want to get y'all take on this. It's a football related story, but I can relate it to basketball. Western, the school in Florida called Western, beat another school in Florida called Taravella. I never heard of either one of them, but they beat them 91-0. The football game on Thursday. Football. In this type of game, in that situation, it's a couple parts to the question. Should the game be called? And if so, by who? By the coaches, officials, or the administration? Because clearly, what's the point in a 91-0 game? What's y'all take on that? Should it be called or should it be, hey man, it's your job to stop us, like old school Bobby Bowden, it's your job to stop me, it ain't my job to stop you. And because we dealing with kids now, we dealing with 13, 14, 15, up to 18, 19-year-old kids. So what's y'all take on that? Or am I totally off on it?
All I know is after 42-0, it get personal. And now it started getting to the level where it's late hits, flipping, all that type of
Hey,
stuff.
man,
There, I don't know if you should call the game.
what you got? What you got at that point? What I got to lose, man?
You got to beat
got to lose.
the
Clearly, ain't
that's,
going to playoffs.
that's
So I'll bring you down with me.
yeah,
Know,
you spitting in somebody's face. Oh boy,
hey, man, it's Nino Brown. I'm going. You going down? You coming down with me? It's a wrap.
But you know what though? I had to deal with this with that 2012 team, where people, try to accuse me of like running up the score. Like it's really not like that. I mean, I put my subs in. Them kids practice every day too. You know what I'm saying? What I'm supposed to tell them? Not to try to score or not to do this? I mean, what are they practicing for?
Were you still pressing?
No, I'll pull them back.
Okay.
I'll pull them back. But you know what I'm saying? You know how my kids are. They're aggressive. So, defensively, we got after people, period, even in the half court. But my thing is, even when I put, my second, thirds, or maybe even fourths in, I'm not going to tell them kids, oh, don't try to score or don't do this. You know what I'm saying? My play calling probably get conservative. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I come out and run quarterback sneak. If you still can't stop that, that's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? That's not my fault.
You should be passing the ball.
So y'all don't. Neither one of y'all think the game should be called at that point.
No, it shouldn't be called because those kids practice all week to play. And them parents deserve to see their kids play. What if them kids don't play in any other game?
I think that's more embarrassing if you just call it a quit at a high school level. Like that's.
So it's more embarrassing to call it than get beat 91 zip.
Man, yeah.
Let's spin off your question though, Barnes. Let's spin off your question. So I have a problem with them suspending the coach or trying to fire the coach for beating people like that. What y'all think about that? I don't think that's fair at all.
They're doing that.
But we've seen cases where coaches have been suspended or fired because they beat a team like that.
Yeah, they don't pay enough for me to have to go through that type of hill.
I don't agree with the coach.
Who you playing to?
If you're going to be to the point where you're going to talk about disciplining the coach, in my opinion, you should just go and call the game as an admin. Just don't even let it get to that point. If you gonna do that after the fact, just go on and you just pull the plug and be done with it. If you know that, like you said, if the coach is coaching, and if he got his third string guys in, and third string guys still making plays, I already got my third string guys in. I mean, what else you want me to do? I mean,
So I remember it was like a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago, when Lakeland beat Kathleen like 56-0 or something like that. Y'all, you remember that one when they beat them pretty bad?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time they played them, it was like close. It was like 27-14 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So 56-0. Do you call the dogs off?
Well, 56 is different than 91. 56, I think he's still in the realm in the 50s. When you get up to the 90s, bro, I mean that's.
I'm saying, do you call the dogs off in 50? You
still
right?
Something, and it's a running clock. So that's my thing. So they must just be having one play drive, bro, and pick six and everything. It was a running clock, and they still put up 91 points.
Man, that team that was Evangel Christian. That was who used to be called Evangel Christian. That was Evangel Christian against Lakeland, man. So you put in third team.
I just looked at it like, man, what do we throw the towel in, man? It's like Rocky Balboa, man. Do you throw the towel or what, man? Just I don't know.
Let me ask you this. From the 5 point of view, back in the day, would y'all throw the towel in on the Hawks?
That's different. That's
different. You trying to beat the Hawks by 100, huh? It's different then, huh?
That's different. That's different. I mean, if that's a rivalry, game, maybe that was a rivalry game. That's a rivalry game. Maybe that's the only thing I would say. If it's a rivalry game, then that kind of changes things a little bit. But anything besides the rivalry game, I think you might. I don't know. Go what Terry Vela supposed to do after that, man. Like you said, at that point, man, Y'all ain't playing this week. I already know we ain't playing.
Yeah, that ain't playing.
Y'all ain't playing either. We both gonna be chilling. But anyway.
That's more than the sausage right there, boy.
That ain't a link. That's a.
Hey, I ain't coming to school Monday. 91 nothing.
Bro, how you this is my thing, bro. How you bounce back from that as a person, bro? Once you take them pads out, man, you gotta go to school, man, walk the hall like, man, y'all got it don't even make it school, bro. You know how this thing is nowadays, bro. It's social media, man, they live at the game. It's so many like it's no coming back for that, bro. It's October. You gotta go to school to May, bro. You gotta go to school to May. It's October. Ain't no coming back from that, bro. You got 7 months to deal with that, man. Oh man, I'm sorry. Shout out to Terravella, man. I'm gonna set one up for y'all, man. Just I don't know what. And as a coach, what you say to that, man? What if you Terravella coach? What you saying, man?
Good job, fellas. Keep your hands up.
What's the conversation? If you care about a defense coordinator, what's the conversation, man?
Jay, what all you got?
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
What is the talk, man? What do you say, man? I'm sitting there getting this thing just put in me. I can't. Oh man, I'm sorry,
bro. I don't even watch that film at all.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to laugh about that. Terravella, in my prayers. All right, so we recap from last week, man. We did 20 through 16 players for the preseason Polk County's top 25, and we did 21 through 16. We did 21 through 16 players and 20 through 16 teams. So just a recap. Teams, 20 was Haines City, 19 was Vanguard, 18 was Lakeland Christian, 17 was McKeel, 16 was Lake Region. Players, 21, Illa Ricketts, 20, Andre Shaw, 19, Illa Ricketts from Victory, 20, Andre Shaw from Kathleen, 19, Trevon Coleman from Ridge, 18, Nehemiah Turner from Arbondale, 17, Jane Excel from Lake Wells, and 16, Harvey Wilson from Santa Fe. Interaction to either one of them, any one of those.
How is Haines City not number 25?
Because they got the Phenom coming in. That's what the street said. The Phenom coming in, he gonna make things a little different, you know. I haven't seen the young man, so but all I've heard he's the next coming, you know, he's the next big thing. So
I'm not gonna lie to you, the kid can shoot it. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna get his, but I don't see Haines City being, you know, any better than what they have been in the past.
So now last year better was 1 win. So you saying
they'll be better? They'll win more than 1 game. I'm pretty sure he made sure that he's scheduled that he's better than, you know, winning 1 game.
No, he was selected. Did he take the football blueprint?
I'm pretty sure if he didn't, you know what I'm saying, why wouldn't he? Yeah. I already know that he's definitely not playing nobody in this district. At all. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna subject himself to that.
Who are you gonna beat in the county? Kennerock, Mulberry?
You'll have an opportunity to. Those are not given, but I mean, those are your best bet.
No, I'm asking. Like, we don't know how they're gonna be, but
I don't even know what their schedule.
I think even with Discovery being a new team, they should have been ranked higher than Haines City.
They are ranked higher than Haines City. Discovery hasn't been ranked yet. They hasn't come out yet.
Not Discovery.
Who?
Davenport.
Oh man, you just doing that because of Fred. And Billy.
Haines City was trash, man.
You can't rank a team that they ain't even put a team out there yet. How you don't even know what they got?
Yeah, we know what Haines City got. I ain't a fan of Haines City, so
yeah,
25.
I mean,
so you say Haines City 25 regardless. So they worse than everybody.
I'm not a fan of what they did. So
well, this is the thing, and we know on here we don't make we don't try to hide the fact that it wasn't very well received with how that happened and how that went about. Because of course we pro EMBO, so and we don't try to hide run from that. We very pro EMBO, and we know EMBO is totally what you think about when you think Haines City, you think EMBO. So, and I get it, I totally get it. So I'm not But anywho, the decision was because since the I guess we did the rankings, Wilson has played in a couple of fall leagues and has been playing very well in the fall league. So we saw more of him, and so that's why we switched it. He's had more action that we saw. Not saying Excel's not working, but we hadn't seen it. We have seen Wilson, and Wilson did very well in the Heritage League, and apparently, and from what we understand, he did very well over in the Scepter League.
I mean, a couple of people had problems with where we ranked some of the individual kids. You know, some of those kids had great years stat-wise last year, but in the summer league, because there has been transfers and people graduating, their role has changed, and that came into play also about what we seen in summer league, like the Ricketts kid, and we love that kid. Kid had a great year last year, but with the incoming influx of the transfers that they had this year, I don't think he'll have the same numbers that he did. You know what I'm saying? That's going to have a major impact on his game. It came, it had influence on our decision. It's not taken away from the kid, but, his role is going to change now.
It changed in the summer.
It changed during the summer, exactly.
We sat there and watched it. They got a phenom over there too. And we just keeping it G. They got a phenom over there too who is gonna be ranked pretty,
I mean, that's even with Shaw, man. Shaw benefited having Jimmy and Marcellus on that floor. He really did benefit having them kids on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, now that those kids have graduated, you can see that his role has changed on this team. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that came to play, with his ranking also. The kid is solid. We're not taking away from that, but you know what I'm saying? He's got to take on a major role this year with this team. Those kids are young. Is he ready to lead them? Can he
talking about Shaw, right?
Yeah, can he be that guy? You know what I'm saying?
So this is my question. That this is where it gets very like the beginning of the year to the end of the year. We didn't have Monty in the top 10 last year. Y'all know that, right?
I know it.
And the kid ended up second team All State, and second ballot player of the year, second in votes for Polk County. The same kid. I mean, he proved his point.
He did. Remember, I told you he had to have that type of year in order for that team to get to where they needed to get to, where they wanted to get to, and he ended up doing that.
I feel like summer just when I came to watch, if you had a bad summer, you had a bad summer. I don't think you deserve to be ranked no higher. I mean, and the list don't get what I've seen that we put together. The list doesn't get any easier for a kid that's ranked back where we just put them at, for them to tell me they're better than the kids that's in front of them. Because that next group, this next storm of kids that we got, that's a tough group.
Tough group, bro. It's like when you roll them out, it's like okay. But when you first see the name, you like, it can't be 20 kids. I know, post made on social media. It can't be 20 kids better than Shaw.
Who said that? Somebody said it? No, I know I've been out the loop, but did somebody say it can't be 20 kids better?
Yeah, there's a couple people that say that when we made the post. And
Y'all
everybody
know,
tells you they on the pick. Say again.
y'all know I haven't been responding, so I'm asking seriously. Like I didn't know they said that part. Like it can't be 20 kids better. I seen y'all talking about like we must be crazy and bumped our head and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
how you gonna say it can't be 20 players better than anyone that's on that list?
It was said about him. It was said about Shaw and about Ricketts. And,
So
and,
at the end of the day, it's kids that, and this is just me talking now, but to put those two in the spot of when we go to the top 5 kids or top 10 kids, it's kids that's getting D1 offers. These kids ain't got that yet. You see what I'm saying? And they're younger. So it's a lot to say. It's a lot that you can say. Then it goes off to what they did during the summer too. So they say it ain't 20 kids better, or they shouldn't be ranked number 20. That's what it ain't 20 kids better.
It was a comment that they're not 20 kids better, and that's when we must be drinking and we must.
That's why I'm being serious. How you gonna say it ain't 20 kids better? We can name 5 kids right now better than both of them.
Well, I mean, in the next couple of days, it'll day by day, it'll.
I mean, it's fine to have your own opinion. At this point in time, this is where we feel that they're at. My thing is, and like I tell y'all all the time, it's gonna get settled on the court regardless. You know what I'm saying? So we don't mind giving credit where it's due. So when this season come up, you know what I'm saying, you take care of business on the court, we don't mind moving you up. We don't mind moving you back either. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's just a starting point.
Yeah, look, Monty Monty changed the whole outlook of how we talk. Kathleen, period. I had Kathleen as grade A sanitation. Them boy made it to the regional final.
Yeah. And I knew that kid had the potential, but I knew he had to play at a high level in order to get Kathleen to that point. You know, his dad got on here talking about, you know, he's gonna try to get everybody involved and assists and things like. No, he needed to score. You know what I'm saying? He needed to be, that dominant figure on his team, and he ended up doing that. And that's why he was second team All-State.
Yeah, that's a weird comment. It ain't 20 guys.
It was very well reserved. It was very well deserved. What Marcellus ended up getting, but like you said, preseason, nobody saw that coming. Probably, but except Marcellus, But to his credit, he worked and he was consistent and he did it at a high level all year long. And we're not saying that Shaw won't do it, but like you're saying, this time last year, we didn't have Marcellus up there, and he totally, winning. But that's kind of based off of where it's at right now. Like I said, the key word is preseason. So we encourage conversation, and we encourage, everybody to have an opinion, which is why it goes. We try to make sure that we consistent. We try to make sure it's valid, and our stuff has some foundation to it, which is why I think why our stuff is well received. But at the end of the day, everybody ain't going to agree with it, and that's that's fine. And just like we put out the top rebounders, we put out we said Dylan James from Winter Haven, Nehemiah Turner from Auburndale, Harvey Wilson from Santa Fe, and Jaden Wynn from Bartow. And, it was some.
Was it rebounder or was it shot blockers?
Rebounder.
It was rebounder? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was shot blocking, bro.
I thought it was shot blocking too.
You sure? I thought it was glass cleaning, rebound. Now, maybe I'm wrong on that, but I thought it was rebound. It should have been rebound.
That's kind of confused us then.
So it said rebound? I mean, it said shot.
I don't know. Yeah, you got it right, bro. We looked at it different then.
Yeah, that's probably so.
So, but we just trying to highlight different parts of the county as we get ready to move into the season. So, like I say, we don't expect everybody to agree with it, and that's the whole point of it. That's what makes it work.
Hey, whoever we rank at number 10, don't feel that should have been number 3, 2, or 1. Hey, they're gonna prove it. Do hey, we got a story to tell, and we can always bring up Monty, because again, we were fighting to put him in the top 10, and then we put him at like 12. Kid did numbers, end up with second team All State. So we was really talking about. He was close in that. Him, Alvin, and Walt. That was his name was in the mentions. Like we weren't just saying Alvin and Walt.
Yeah, definitely.
And we want to mention that kid at the beginning of the year. We none of us was like, oh yeah, he'll be a player of the year candidate. Nah, that's what you play the season for, man. That's what you exactly play the season for. It's some kids who be ranked number 1 in the country, and then their sophomore year, they come to junior year, they'll drop down to number 15. It happens.
You know what that means? I mean, we in Kathleen locker room again. We on the bulletin board again. You know,
why should we be? Why should we be on their bulletin because he's number 20?
We stay on Kathleen.
He got the potential to be a player of the year candidate too.
I agree.
But this is the thing. He gonna have every opportunity. He the first option on everything. So he in the same boat my team was in. Everything goes through him. So it's to him how this season goes for him because he's the unquestioned leader. He's the first option. The ball gonna touch his hands the most out of anybody. So he gets to decide how his senior year goes. And I don't think any kid would want it any other way. Then you get to have total, or I don't say total, but you have a lot of input on how this goes. Everything got to go for Kathleen, bro. So if it doesn't have it, his success or not success is totally in his hands. He don't have to depend on anybody else for his success. Let me say it that way.
Yeah, Ricky's got to share the ball.
Yes.
That young kid can let it go. That young kid gonna get 20, 25.
And the other kid that came from Jenkins, what's that, Dino?
Dino, yeah.
Yeah, that kid can shoot the ball.
Shooter, yeah.
What's best for victory is that they do spread out their scoring. You know what I'm saying? That's what's best for the team. So that's gonna make them tough to beat. But you know, with them 2 additions, bro, it changed the whole dynamics of that team.
Man. All right, the last thing we're going to do, y'all, is drop the next 10 names in alphabetical order of the top 50. So this is, alphabetical. So after the night, we'll be up 30. Got 20 more names to go. So starting on from an alphabetical standpoint, Walt Clayton, Bartow, Keon Clergeau, Arbandale, Marcus Gent, George Jenkins, Bucky Hodge, Lake Wells, Chance McSpadden, Winter Haven, Brandon Giles, Arbandale, TJ Walden, Kathleen, Willie Williams, Lake Wells, Kevin Ghost Williams, Haines City, and Russell Baby Wilson, Lake Wells. That's the next 10. Thoughts on that? Feedback, reactions?
A lot of player of the year on that list right there. A lot of them was player of the year.
Yeah.
The one that I know, I won't say I know, that I feel that once we drop it's going to get the most eyebrows. Obviously, it's the most recent one, which is Walt. When you compare Walt to the last 3 years.
You can, man. He 2-time player of the year in the Legend. He's first team All-State. And he's 2-time state champion. Like, how can you argue that?
Yeah, you can't argue Walt at all. And then his junior year, his sophomore year, he took Lakewood to Elite 8, right?
Yeah, they went to the regional final, lost at Lakewood, and should have won that game.
We go regional final, state champ, player of the year, 2 years, All-State, 2 years, 6A player of the year. Wasn't he like 6A player of the year or something?
Yeah.
Like, how can you argue that?
Yeah, you can't argue Walt like you can't argue Art salary. That's not even a question. Like, okay. The one that I say might be a question mark, which is shocking me, was Ghost.
Yeah, okay. But Ghost was tough though. He was real tough.
I would take Ghost on that list, but I'm saying if anybody's gonna question it would be Ghost because Haines City got some. We ain't done. I feel the next 20 is the tough. It's gonna be hard. because we got to leave somebody out.
Yeah, we do.
You're gonna be
I mean,
alive.
even Willie Williams, I don't think you can argue that. Russell Wilson, 5A Player of the Year, state champion, can't argue that one. And Keon, boy, you talking about somebody that was fun to watch to play? That kid there got
I started
buckets.
watching basketball after I went and saw him play.
That kid was getting buckets.
He was explosive. Yeah, he was explosive.
I started watching basketball again. Like, yeah, I'm excited. That finally we got that clear in the county where you say, man, Friday night I'm gonna go over here and watch them play. Like how we did Walt. You wanted to go watch Walt play.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So last question, y'all, before we jump off. Who was your toughest guard? Who was your tough when you played? Who was your toughest guard? Like who's the toughest player you had to guard during your playing days? High school, college, doesn't matter.
Man.
I say it'd be out of two people. One on was Teddy Dupay, that went to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the other one would probably be Keon Doolin that went to Cardinal Gibbons. Ended up going to Missouri and played in the league for a long time.
Does it happen from high school to college? Or can it be like when I played after that? Like even playing like
I know you're gonna say if you say after that, and you done talked about it before. You talked about Pearsall.
Nah, it ain't even Pearsall.
Go ahead and name them both.
It would be Chucky Atkins. Chucky Atkins.
Okay.
We playing the team at tournaments for the 10,000 and playing those type of tournaments. It would be Chucky Atkins. Pearsall just caught me when I was a baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chucky caught you when you were grown.
Yeah, that's an NBA player, bro. And people don't understand how difficult it is to guard an NBA guard who plays 82 games in a season and don't get tired and is in $1 million shape. So,
$1 million shape. That's what people don't understand. What does it mean to be in $1 million shape? I don't think I think that goes way over the head of high school.
It definitely goes over. It goes over the head of a lot of people because they don't understand what $1 million is. What you is when you're an NBA player. You're an investment.
That's why you hear about a lot of those rookies in that rookie wall. You know what I'm saying? They're not used to an 82-game season.
They don't know how to put that work in the summer, too. It's a different grind in the summer from being good to being great. And I can remember Tracy telling us two things that separated him and Kobe was in his younger days, he didn't take the summer as seriously as a guy like Kobe would. And he was like, far as like his training, like Tracy, he said it. He told me Rashad, like, he would go out summertime. He would work. He would put in work in the gym, but he wasn't doing the Kobe work like 3 or 4 times in the gym. He'll go put his work in, then he'll go hang out, type of thing. To where you got a guy like Kobe, he said, if 24 hours it's 24 hours in a day, 20 of them hours he putting work in. You know what I'm saying? And that'd be the difference in what you see in a lot of kids now. They don't know how to put that type of work in. And that's why we get the questions about who is now. This ain't no shot at Kendall because he didn't know, but to compare those top 20 kids that's getting ranked in the country compared to the kids that we see around here at Polk. And where you see the different levels at. Them guys waking up with basketballs in their hand. They wait. If school started at 7:05, at 4:30, 5 o'clock, we seeing them kids. We who get up to go to the gym like me and you, Barnes. You seeing those type of kids in the gym, in the weight room, working out. You see those kids waking up and they going to the gym. You see a kid. And I ain't saying kids out here ain't doing it. I just don't see. I can't see how they're doing it, and they're not the skill set is where it's at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like if you were waking up in the morning, you was treating this like a career, as a job, then 2 hours before you go to school, you don't have a workout in. And it took for me to be older to understand that, to see now why we say the $1 million investment in just working out, man. Those guys get up in the morning, work out, midday workout, go to practice, do that, then they come right back and they do another workout. Then they eat right and they rest their body. Kids don't understand that. Our kids, I don't think our kids caught on to that. That's why when we rank kids the way we rank them, show me why we should rank you higher. Because I can tell you now, I don't been in the gym with guys that's in the top 5, and I can tell you they lazy. They don't know how to work. They don't know how to put in the work.
That's talk. That's talk.
Just talk. They just working off talent. They just playing off pure talent. They're not playing off of work ethic. They don't. I can take them through drills they wouldn't even understand. Basic drills. And that's another thing too, man. I think nowadays with these kids, they get caught up in the way they work. They're working on all the wrong things just to say they got the moves. Like you spending 2 hours in the gym dribbling through cones, and then you ain't even got a game situation. You ain't even putting yourself in game situations to get buckets. What if you ain't touched the ball in 7 possessions? But you dribble, you doing a dribble, you doing a cone dribble workout for a whole hour and a half, but you don't bring the ball up any. So I don't think kids understand the strength of what they're doing in the system they're playing in. And I did want to talk about that. Me and Billy D spoke on earlier. It's about choosing the right systems to go to when you're in college. Like you can't be in the gym and working on a cone drill for 2 hours, and then your team got you in a position where you're running off sets, off screens, and you're moving out the ball. And what's the benefit of that cone drill for 2 hours when you don't even know how to run and do the Reggie Miller, Richard Hamilton, Ray Allen? You don't know how to move without the ball to get buckets that way, because all you spending time on is something that you're not going to use. Not saying you shouldn't do it, but if you're in the gym for 3 hours, why is 2 hours working on cones, dribbling with the cones when you don't even know how to move without the ball?
Just waste of time. Waste of time.
Yeah. Waste of time when you should at least go half and half. So if you do bring the ball up, you understand how to use that in the late game situation. But throughout the game, how do you know how to move like a Klay Thompson, Reggie Miller, Richard Hamilton, Ray Allen? How these guys move without the ball to get buckets when you can shoot good? At every level, kids don't even understand that part of that.
Do kids even look at the system they're going to, or they just look at the name of the school they're going to?
And they have no clue. I don't think these kids study the game anymore like we used to. That was the benefit of us because we didn't have technology like they got. So their part of studying the game is going on YouTube and looking at highlights. Our part of studying the game was recording a full college basketball game and watching it, and then going to take still ideas from what we saw, what was in the system, and that's why we were so good at organized basketball compared to these kids now.
I think highlights, and you tell me if y'all think I'm off. I think YouTube has kind of hurt the game somewhat because all they show is highlights. So you don't see a game situation where you see where on the highlights you see where the play worked, but you don't see during the game how many times the play didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't get a full view of it's not a realistic view of what you're getting what you're walking into. And maybe am I off on that? Everybody great in the highlights. You're supposed to be great in the highlights, but what you did, like you said, once you done turned the ball over a couple of times, once you done got that second foul and you got to play a little different. I mean, a team start defending you a different way. What do you do then? The highlights don't show that. I just think that sometimes YouTube kind of takes away from that the whole picture.
Imagine this, bro. This time I feel about YouTube as a joke. Kids would rather master that step back move that they might get to use 2 times in the game. Because what we talked about earlier, as a scout scouting report on the kid.
Yeah, once you go take that away.
So we know in the 2-step back, we're gonna take that situation out of your hands, which is you got to have the ball in your hands in certain spots to do that move.
Go push you off your spot. Then what?
Now, running around without the what's more difficult to defend? A guy who has a one-on-one move that you can send 2 people at him, or a guy that moves without the ball and can dribble and do pull-ups. That kid that can learn the whole system of organized basketball is more of a threat. But see, for me, my teaching is too basic to these kids nowadays, even their parents. I'm a basic teacher because I teach you how to score in all different ways. I teach you how to move without the ball, come off chairs, all this different stuff here in like game situations compared to just having you spend 3 hours doing a cone drill that get you a step back that you can't use in high school basketball as much anyway because of the game is the way the game is.
And they call it. Coach, you've been real quiet.
Man, I'm trying to watch what I say. I really am. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I've been trying to do with holding back. But then sometimes we get on the topic and it's like, hold on, man. This is what we're supposed to say. This is what I'm supposed to say because a lot of the stuff that we see when we start hitting these kids with it, man, and they being they feeling like, prove it to me. I ain't.
You know, I'm there too. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell y'all all the time, it's gonna sort itself out on the court. But you got to everything's gotta be intentional. Your training gotta be intentional. You know what I'm saying? If it's not gonna transfer over to the game itself, then you wasting your time. Like Tuma said, you can't spend that much time on this one thing, and that's not what you do in the game. You're not maximizing your time. It's so many elements that play into what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But work ethic, you can't substitute it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it used to bother me all the time that my kids always wanted to be in the gym. Like at some point, you know, I want to rest too, but I had to get up and open the gym no matter what time it was. I had to get up and open it. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to put work in, so we're going to go put work in. You know, no matter what time it was, in the morning, late at night. You know what I'm saying? When I had the keys to the gym, I allow my kids to work out. So, you know, if your kid...
Coach, you know what's sad? If one of us was to tell a kid right in their face, if you wake up at 6:05 to get to school at 7:05, you're already 50 steps behind a McDonald's All-American. Well, what you mean? Think about it. You got yourself prepared for an hour to go to school. But basketball is your life on social media. You lost. You are a full bona fide loser in the business aspect of the game, to me. Because you're going to wait that after the fact to try to get better compared to, I'm going to look at these kids that I see in the AAU circuit, and I'm going to, even if they're not getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning, me knowing that I've been around it, I'm getting up at 5. I'm getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning before school to make sure I'm better than them when I ain't got to see them. Because why are they ranked higher than me? Why do we rank you number 25 on this list? Or why do we rank you number 10?
I know that one school. I know they post it all the time. And I'm not saying they're the only school that's working with the 6 o'clock workouts or the early morning workouts, but I know they're doing it at Santa Fe. And I know the kids in the gym and they getting shots up and they getting work in. But like you said, so if you got an issue with it, then put the work in. And McKeel does it too. Yeah, I saw McKeel does it too. So not saying they the only ones, but they put it out there so people can see it. But it's like you say, it's a fair point. It ought to be motivation as opposed to looking at it as a negative, because we ain't saying nothing negative about no kid because we rank you somewhere that you don't agree with. We ain't wrote a negative word about a kid since we've been doing this, and never gonna write a negative word. Now, if you take it as a negative because we put you at 20 or put you at 21 and you think you should be somewhere else, then that's on you. But it ain't because we said this kid trash, this kid can't do this. No, we it's a positive write up about every kid. So instead of being negative about it, maybe use it as like you said, motivation. Okay, they tried me. Then every time I want to take a day off, every time I want to take a drill off, every time I want to not work hard, Polk Hoot had me at 20, at 21.
So what's more important of a focus? Can I ask y'all to this? What's more important of a focus for a kid right now? Should I be more in my feeling about Polk Hoot's ranking me at number 20, or me not having no college offers and I'm a senior?
I think that's a no-brainer to him. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have no offer, then there's more work to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I need to start humbling myself and open up my recruitment to lower level colleges.
Man,
D2, D3, and NAIA.
Them 3 guys that's on this podcast, somebody that ranking me, I'm trying to figure out how I ain't got no offers. I remember I told my coach.
Does that correlate? Lack of offers and ranking?
You got a point.
It might. Yeah, I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying it might. I don't know.
I'm done ranting, man. I went.
Hey, man. So,
man, it eggs me to see the thing that we see. Like we all about something else. Like it just eggs me to see situations that you see kids in now, and it's like we preach this stuff to them face to face. Years ago, it's like, and you steady see the same epic failure from our kids that can't be avoided because we got the talent. I ain't just put it out there simple. From talent, yeah.
Because like you say with Shaw, because we keep bringing up Shaw and Ricketts because they were the names that got the most, I guess, flack from it. It ain't a matter of talent. Shaw's a legit 6'7" wing kid, so he got the measurables. The Ricketts kid, we know, got the talent, so it ain't there. It's just like you say, just do it. And if us ranking you too low is what needs to get you going, then we'll take that. We'll be your motivation. That's totally fine. We'll be whatever we need to be. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help the kids and the team and Polk County get to the highest level possible. So if that's what it takes for you, hey man, they hating on me, they don't like me. A couple years ago, Polk Hoots was hated by Kathleen Nation before they realized who Polk Hoots was and realized that Polk Hoots was a Kathleen alumni. Polk Hoots was the worst thing in America. So they were like, oh, hold on now. So now it stopped. It stopped. So if that's the motivation again, then let it be the motivation. Oh boy. See the comments before we get off too.
No.
It's just out of nowhere. It's just always one step away, man. Always one step away.
Man, listen, I have no choice to eat them words. They're gonna be playing Lake Region, Davenport.
Lake Region.
That's my point. I've been getting Lake Region 1 this year.
Lake Region 1, it was 2-2 before they played 2 and 3. They better than they have been. They've been
Davenport 1.
2.
They've been fighting, on the box.
A bunch of teachers.
Hey man, but before we get off, man, what's one goal you got for yourself for the week? Then we done. One goal you got for yourself for the week, professional or personal.
I gotta talk trash straight, cause boy, you giving it to me, boy. I can't even run from it.
You can't even fight back.
Hey, listen, I was talking smack to him the other day, and that dude get the W. I'm talking smack. Don't even realize they played Lake Region on Friday. I'm like selling out early in the week, Billy D.
Yeah, man.
Next thing you know, on the schedule, Tiller Rock versus Lake Region. I'm like, oh Lord, that's number 3.
Hey, and Strick gave them people 50, man. But Strick ain't calling dogs off. He wasn't no coach that don't call the dogs off.
He was on the sideline. That's why he gave 50. You saw he was on the sideline this time?
Yeah. He done came out the press box. He ain't bougie no more. He on the sideline with the kids now. Anyway, what's one goal y'all got, man, for yourself, personal or professional this week?
Man,
Miami Hurricanes, by the way.
So what?
You know what? I'm down with them.
Y'all
Underdog will
ain't
win
game.
the rest of the
Y'all,
season.
they too toxic, like I say, Florida State is for me.
Yeah, bro. They trying to raise my blood pressure. May got to be gone in the next week or two. Got to be. We got to start our coaching search. LSU getting rid of Coach O, so maybe we can get Coach O there.
Well, Joe be a
He
good
Yeah,
position.
he used to coach at Miami during the glory days.
He used to coach mine back in the day, yeah. So,
But man, for me, man, boy, hey, working on these advanced degrees. Listen, anybody that chooses to chase degrees, man, especially when you're an adult and working, man, my hat's off to you. Because right now, my dissertation is kicking my behind. So all thoughts, prayers, I take them all right now. It's just, time management right now is difficult with work and things outside of work, and then trying to get homework done for my dissertation. So right now I'm just focusing on time management and make sure I put the time in to get the things I need done.
So you get your doctorate?
Yes, I'm in my dissertation right now.
So you mean to tell me I'm gonna be on the show with two guys? They're gonna put doctor. It's gonna be Dr. Bond and Dr. Washington, and then they're gonna be in this guy.
And this guy. And also getting it from Florida Southern. I'm gonna be a mock. I'll be a mock with Tuma, but I ain't wearing no red though.
You too deep in it too, man. Hey, give me a purple shirt, man, so I can show you that don't matter, man.
It don't.
Yeah,
one day, boy.
I can get a tenor rock shirt. I rock it on here. Don't matter.
Yeah, Strick. Can we get a purple tenor rock shirt? Can I wear a tenor rock shirt next week, Strick?
So, bro, personal or professional goal for the week? One. I know you got plenty of them, but just one.
Personal goal?
Either one. Or you can do both. Either or either.
Well, my personal goal is just, I was injured this week. I couldn't do my conditioning. So my personal goal is to get back out there and get back on the level I was on. That's it. I don't want to get too deep into that, man. I don't talk y'all ear off a lot tonight.
Oh man,
I was down for 2 weeks fighting to be on the show, so
yeah, you came back strong tonight. After we lost you for a minute there, but you came back, you fought back.
Hey, listen, this is the most important time of the year for a brother, business wise.
Yeah. Personal goal for me, man. First of all, Billy, I can relate. So prayers up to you for that dissertation and that time management. Like you said, that's the most important. It ain't even what you're putting on paper, it's just having the time to get your thoughts together to get it on paper. So I can understand and relate. So prayers up for you for that. But my personal goal, man, very simple, man. I'm just anybody, even just talking about, with Johnny Lawson, once again, condolences to him. But my goal, anybody that I love, it's gonna be obvious that I do by words and by deeds. I don't want folks to have to figure out if I love them or not, whether they deserve it or not. If I do, I'm going to be more intentional. I have been, but I'm going to continue to be more intentional and making sure that the people that I love know that I do, because nowadays you just never know when the next time might be the last time. You hate to say it that way, but that's just the way with the world we living in. So I just want to continue to be intentional with folks that I love, to make sure they know that I love them, and whether I get a response back, whether they acknowledge it or whatever, they'll know it. You never know. That might be the only person that tell them they love them that day. You just never know. So that's my goal. It's simple, but that's what I'm endeavoring to do. So, all right, man. Well, I had a good one tonight. So this weekend, we're gonna do 10. Next week we'll do 10 more names. Like I said, we got 20 more to go. We'll do 15 through 11 for teams, 15 through 11 for players. As we get down to the top players as we get ready for the season to start. You guys make sure y'all don't have no balls out, coaches. So I ain't coaching no more. I can say that. Make sure I ain't got no balls. That's illegal. That's illegal. So don't have no balls out the gym, man.
I'm going around this week finding, and I'm gonna film.
Hey, man, you never know who might have one of these things now. One of these things. So be careful. Be careful. Have your head on the swivel, man. Have your head on the swivel. So Shout out to last week, man. Lake Gibson football knocked off Bartow. Shout out to Lake Arbondale. That was a tough one, Coach. That was tough. Arbondale knocked off Lake Wells. Lakeland Christian knocked off Frost School. Tenor Rock knocked off Lake Region. Lakeland beat the brakes off Jenkins. So, all district games.
Lake Gibson put that sausage in Bartow too now. Not knocked off. Knocked off is a good game in your word.
Jimmy Dean.
That was sausage. Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean. Sorry about that, Joe Blight. Yeah, Jimmy Dean. Sorry about that trip, Jimmy Dean.
But that was a must win for Lake Gibson, though.
So Lake Gibson win the district. Now Kathleen got to win. Shout out to Kathleen. We bashed Kathleen in football, man. They went over to Brooksville, Hernando, and 24-0. So shout out to the Red Devils. These next 2 weeks gonna be kind of rough for them. Well, I ain't gonna say rough. Let me use the right word. It's gonna be challenging for them. Gonna be challenging. They got Lake Gibson this week, and they got Lakeland next week. So they got two.
I have COVID.
It's gonna be rough.
I have COVID.
and they homecoming. So they have their homecoming again. So they don't schedule their homecoming again. Lake Gibson.
Man, COVID hit the whole team.
Oh, man. You can't have COVID for homecoming, can you? I guess you can.
COVID hit the whole team, man.
Hey, didn't Lake Gibson beat them by like 40 last year?
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty.
And they scheduled them for homecoming?
Well, you like what you feel how you feel, you know. You know what you know, and you like what you like, and you feel how you feel, and it is what it is. So
giving Friday, bro.
Hey, they just won 24-0, so they Kathleen on a roll, and this the thing, bro. If Kathleen wins this week and next week, they win the district.
Any given Friday.
If they win this week and next week, they district champs. After all we done said about it, they district champs. Bro, you're real quiet. I don't hear nothing. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. We'll let y'all go check out the Sunday night football game, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us, man, as always. Thank y'all for the love and the support, man. We can't do it without y'all, man. So everybody be safe this week. Them grades going first quarter this week, right?
Yes, sir.
First quarter in the books, man. You already one quarter already down, man. Look how fast school year going, man. Them grades like this.
Yeah. Kids off from school tomorrow too, so get in the gym.
Oh yeah. Polk County Public Schools. There is no school tomorrow for the kids. It is for the grown-ups, right? But it ain't for the kids. We got school. So if you go to Polk State, though, we got school. So don't y'all get caught up in that Polk County stuff. We're a little different at the college. So make sure y'all shout out to Zach, man. Shout out to Zach. We gonna be doing best defensive players one of these things. And Zach, best defensive player I ever coached, man. Zach just had a motor that just didn't stop. I know you can relate to it. Zach it was a dog, and anyway.
Zach definitely is top 5 defensive player.
Oh man, yeah, man. Zach was really.
So yeah, I'm definitely top 5. You know how Billy D is with Russell.
Yeah, and that's how you feel. So I know them guys took pride in locking people down, man. You don't get that. You don't get that with these kids nowadays coming to jail. Like, coach, give me the best player and let me go get him. Kids don't come say that no more, bro. They just anyway. That's gonna be another soapbox, and we're trying to get done. But appreciate y'all, man. And good luck to y'all reaching your goals this week, man. Both personal and professional, man, and everybody out there. Hopefully, y'all set goals for yourself and work hard to reach them. So, till next time, man. We'll be next week, Polk Coots. I think we got I think Coach working on a guest so to kind of clarify some stuff from a official.
Put me to sleep, man.
No,
I did better today.
Hey, man, we just found out, y'all. It's a lot of new rules that's in place for next year for high school basketball. So we're gonna have one of the top officials, actually the president, to come on and kind of explain some stuff for y'all, man. So it's gonna be some interesting stuff next year. I'm glad I'm not coaching. I'm glad I'm just gonna be watching, but he gonna be on to kind of give it to y'all so you can have a good understanding. So till next week, man, y'all be safe. Appreciate everybody, man. Polk Hoops. We out.